Left into. All right, don't cut.
Assetto Corsa Rally isn't just a rally game, it's a bloody work of art. With Supernova Games taking the best aspects of Dirt Rally, the best aspects of Richard Burns Rally, gluing them together with audio and graphics that are more spectacular than anything you've ever seen in a racing game before. We're talking 10 out of 10 on the grass scale here. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what to expect from the early access, what's really good, what could be better, and why you need to get a handbrake for your sim rig. Subscribe so you can then unsubscribe when you realise I've made you waste too much money on sim racing stuff. Click the like button if you think spectators deserve to be run over for standing on the outside of corners. And a huge thanks to all our Patreon members, channel members and financial supporters. Without you, we wouldn't be here. First things first, and to be a bit anticlimactic from that very positive intro, this is an early access title. It's very much how Dirt Rally 1 was launched, so expect a lack of content, expect a drip feed of content. Don't expect a fully polished, single-player, fully-fledged game from the early access. Expect Dirt Rally 1 at launch, or what we've currently got with Wreckfest 2, for example. As far as this press version I've had access to, we've only got 2 full stages, one of them tarmacked, one of them gravel, and a selection of vehicles. Some of them are still very much work in progress. So, very sparse on the content side. Also, in terms of single player, with the press version I've got, all you have right now is some rallies you can do with some medals that you get for doing them in the certain amount of time. It's very sparse. It's like a desert of single player. I think we're all pretty damn tired of early access and we just want to buy a game that's ready to go. But unfortunately that's just not something we can have anymore apparently. Now where this already shines though, and why I'm so excited about this, is that with what is there right now, it's so polished and so nicely executed, it really has moved the bar to another level. As I say, if you're a fan of Richard Burns Rally, this is like Richard Burns Rally 2. If you're a fan of Dirt Rally, this is like Richard Burns Rally 2. But like basically, if you're a proper rally sim fan, this will absolutely blow your nipty-bops off. We're talking proper simulation of the handling, really controllable cars. They're supernatural to drive. They're so fun to throw around the tracks, to balance them on the throttle. You can really notice a difference between the modern cars, the older vehicles, and stuff like front-wheel drive vehicles. And they're all fun to drive. This is the crucial thing as well. In other rally games I've played, especially with like EA, WRC and Dirt, even with Dirt, you'd find that the sort of smaller front-wheel drive cars were just an absolute chore. Not really enjoyable. But in this, it doesn't matter what you're driving. They all have their own unique handling characteristics and properties that make them really engaging and really interesting to try and work out the puzzle of getting the most out of those vehicles. The handling as well is super deep. It's very obviously just deep in how you can drive the vehicles, but not hard to drive. It's really intuitive and obvious and really forgiving. You can really balance these vehicles, and when you crash, most of the time it feels like it was your fault. It doesn't feel like it was some bizarro physics limitation, which is absolutely superb. Now I've done a dedicated physics video. Check that out on the channel. Linked in the description as well. We'll go more depth into physics there, but absolutely loving how the stuff drives in this. Separate to the handling as well, the quality of the stages, though there's not many of them in the early access right now, the sheer quality is mind-blowing. The actual layout of the stages, supposedly laser scanned, but they look exactly like you'd expect a real rally stage to look. But all the little details of the side of the track, the way the road is cambered away, where the berms are, where the dirt's built up, the road surface itself and the little undulations and little crevices and stuff that just makes the road feel so rich and like an actual road, either the tarmac road or the dirt road. It is like a real road. It's as if someone listened to my criticisms of EAWRC, where the roads feel like a spline that's been extruded in a 3D modelling package and it's all the same. Every metre of stages in this feels like a unique place. Like, it doesn't feel manufactured, it doesn't feel video gamey, it feels like a real place. And then even outside of the track and the bits close to the track, the surrounding environments, the trees, the different types of grass, the bushes, the hedges, the view into the distance, the trees and forests into the distance. This is one of the things I absolutely love about rally games, is where you feel like you're exploring, mate. You're on a journey, you're kind of on holiday on a dirt road. It's kind of a weird thing, but it's something I really like about rally games. I like going to the different countries on the rally stages. Feels like I'm on holiday a little bit whilst driving through the countryside quickly. But when a rally game has bland tracks, it just kills that. But if the other stages they do, if everything is up to the quality of what we've got in the early access, I don't know how they'll keep the quality up, to be honest. I think it's going to take a long time to build these tracks to this quality. And then when it comes to mod tracks, it's a lot of work. But yeah, it's absolutely superb in details. And I have to say, I am probably one of the biggest skeptics of Unreal Engine. This is Unreal 5, which is a big improvement over Unreal 4. You do notice with this, if you don't have the right settings, you can still get some Unreal stutter in there. It's really not a problem, I wouldn't say. It's nothing like what was an issue in EAWRC or many other Unreal titles, but occasionally you do get micro stutters occurring, and there has been some audio where the audio crackles. These are sort of Unreal things I've noticed in other titles as well, but it's not obnoxious and it's not a constant thing. And on the other side of this, it looks so good. The lighting, the amount of details, the car quality, the lighting of the cars, the reflections of the puddles, the sort of graphics engine stuff, the dirt on the road surface and the tessellated geometry and everything. It's actually mind-blowing. And the details that you get from the Unreal Engine and the way the stuff is lit in this really helps give a sense of speed, even in slower vehicles, and really makes it also feel like you're actually in a car, again, in a real-world location. Now, I haven't tested this on slower systems, but one thing I did notice, I was messing around with graphics settings, and normally I would say don't use frame gen for a driving sim. I would say don't use it. But I was messing around and using frame gen quite aggressively on this, and it actually ran really smooth, totally drivable, and looked great. Which means that when this comes out on console, or when it comes to getting this to run on slower systems, I think people might actually be able to get a good gameplay experience out of this. Again, I wouldn't recommend necessarily using frame gen unless you really had to, but I was surprised how good it was. I need to do more testing with it. And then separate to that, what I did notice as well is that even when you got lower frame rates from turning the graphics onto crazy settings, I did notice that the frame timing is generally really quite good in this, so that could lend itself to VR with correct settings, but without testing it, we just can't know. Now, forget handling, graphics, all that stuff. You're not going to believe me when I say this, but guys, this game's user interface is actually good. The menus are actually good. The UI is actually good. It's how you know this was developed by Supernova and not Kunos, because Kunos just, I don't know, their menus are the worst. But yeah, you can set up your wheels straight away. It just worked. It just worked, guys. Couldn't believe it. I jumped in, I was driving, didn't need to fiddle around with force feedback settings, wheel rotation. It just worked. Bound, off we go. Navigating things as well, after about an hour or so, it's like bipping and bopping through the menus really quickly. And I think the thing is, for a rally game, I think this is actually really, really important, because it's the type of game where you do go, oh, I want to do a rally stage, and you want to be able to jump in, load it up, and then accidentally spend 5 hours doing rally stages. But you know what I mean? You want to not have an absolute chore of a user interface in the way of getting to the driving. And with this, you can just load it up and get straight into a stage, pick your car, off you go, drive into a tree. The UI is definitely more on that sort of accommodating console players and gamepad to navigate. But to be honest, I don't mind because it also worked well with the mouse and keyboard. Outside of the main menus and going through that stuff, the cockpit UI is also really good. The calling of the corners and your position compared to the other drivers, your times, and they've also got this little side menu that you've got in Assetto Corsa Evo as well, where you can quickly navigate through additional car options. Really good, really seamless. Default settings were really good as well, like the headlights working, a start procedure, you can skip the start procedure. Really easy to enable certain assists. Obviously that would depend on the game mode and difficulty, but you can turn stuff like traction control and ABS on whilst you're driving and tweak it if you wanted to. Just great thinking, you know, that you can clearly tell that the developer of this has thought about, you know, what would actually be good to make things accessible? What do people generally struggle with? What is nice to have presented to the player? It's such a change, guys. I feel like I did a bit of game design years ago, and it's been a pain, a chore, reviewing modern games and looking at modern games and just seeing atrocious games design. And then this is just nice. It's well thought out. It's stuff that you should expect from all games. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's just, it works. Well bloody good job. It fills my heart with joy. Moving away from menus and UI, I also have to mention the sound design in this.
Into sudden, tight hairpin left, 40 over crest. 2 right, long, opens 60. 4 right.
It sounds great. I've been whacking up the audio as I play this, and so nice, like so rich, the engine note, the different vehicle engines, where the sound feels like it's coming from, the road surface sounds, when it's a wet road, a dry road, gravel, when you're on the gravel or grass, or the suspension compressing, the gear shift sounds, the sound of the audience, the grip and the sound of the tyres locking up and skidding, and how you can use that to have an understanding of if you're sliding or not. Even when you're starting a stage and the car's getting into position and they have door closing sounds, it's super immersive. Again, it's just attention to detail and polish. I don't know how they're going to keep this degree of polish up with the rest of the game, but it's very good. It's very good. Now, for sure, you guys are probably thinking, did Marco install a chip in Gamer Muscle's ear that somehow made him positive? I'm starting to think that as well. Maybe I'm just overdosing on the sheer quality of the grass in this title. But I just really love what they've done with this and where this seems to be going. And I'm also just a simp for rally driving. To me, it's the pinnacle of motorsport. Rally cars, especially 90s again. It's just on another level. Is there something about it that's just the apex, the top of all things cars and driving, you know. So it's so good to have a really proper rally game in 2025. As I say, what it's all really going to come down to with this is how quickly they get more content into it, how the early access progresses, what they do with single player and structure that, and then also what they do with multiplayer. How will you be able to do races with people? Will you be able to do events? I really hope that they take a sort of template a bit from the original Dirt Rally 1 and Dirt Rally 2's events type system. That would be fantastic to have something like that in this. I would actually also like some rallycross in this. It's so fun to drive. I want other cars. I want to do dirt racing with people. But anyway, that would be nice as a long-term thing. But, having this work as a game, a single-player game, I think is a big thing that we just have no demonstration of in this early access. The fundamentals seem to be there. Physics, graphics, core game, but you actually need a single player there. That's what's missing, and so we'll have to follow this and see how it progresses. Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry for being so positive. I'm going to set fire to my tea cupboard so I can go and cry in the corner and be sad again. I put a link in the description to the game. That might be an affiliate link. I'll say if it is. It might not be, in which case it will say it's not. It'll just be a link. Yeah, well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching this. Happy tea drinking. Happy rally crashing. Take care. And goodbye.